scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek. Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul and seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons.
Hey there, and welcome to my crazy world. Today we're going to talk about something, if I can find it, because it's in my handy dandy notebook, but it's there it is. It is all about 80s rock and roll. Surprise. Well, this is about the albums that I bought in the 80s. So there are a couple of honourable mentions that were done in the 70s, but you know, life's like that, so there you go. All right, first album that I want to talk about is by ZZ Top. And actually they had two that I bought in the 80s because I really enjoyed them. And one was Afterburner and the other one was Eliminator. And I was looking up interesting facts and whatnots and found out the reason for the name being ZZ Top. Well, apparently it was all to do with the fact that they all loved BB King. So rather than being BB, they thought they'd be ZZ King. But they thought, no, that's too close to being BB King, so maybe we should do something about that. And at the time that they were getting ready and everything to start up recordings and whatnot, they decided to have a look, and BB King was actually in the top of the charts. So that they turned around and said that was it. As far as they were concerned, BB King became ZZ Top because he was the top of the charts. So a little bit of fun fact, which I was not aware of. And one of my favourite songs from ZZ Top is, everybody would say Legs, but no, mine is Velcro. And also Sharp Dressed Man, and my all-time favourite is Sleeping Bag. But if I was to go into all of their different songs, well, not just from certain albums, I would say that my favourite of theirs is LaGrange, and yeah, bluesy, dirty, and really cool. I like it. So yeah, that's what. Now, as I'm saying all of this, of course, once again, in no particular order whatsoever. So yeah, that's ZZ Top. Then the next one was Twisted Sister, and I got the album Stay Hungry, and of course that had all your usuals like We're Not Going to Take It, I Want to Rock, and several different other things. I actually was lucky enough to go and see them live, and it was absolutely brilliant. Dee Schneider, it's not Schneider, it's Snyder. He actually had twisted his ankle and he was hanging shit left, right and centre on Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson had done similar thing to himself, twisted his ankle or did something, and he cancelled his shows. And Dee turned around and said, see, this is what real rock and roll's all about. I've twisted my ankle, but I'm still on stage running around like a mad person, or words to that effect. And yeah, one of my all-time favourite concerts. It was just raw and loved every single bit of it. So yeah, and of course We're Not Going to Take It was one of my favourite ones back then. So there you go. And I was not aware, but Twisted Sister has been around since 1972, and they finally disbanded in 2016, and that's because AJ Barrero had passed away, and he was the drummer of the band. Also, Dee Snider actually joined in 1976, and there had been 3 singers for that band, and Dee was the most successful out of it all. And I happen to like him a heck of a lot because he doesn't say a lot, but when he says it, it's pretty interesting and down to earth, factual, and yeah, no shit taken from him. So I like him. Now, what else have I got here? Stay Hungry. Yeah, well, done that. Yes, this is an album that actually came out in 1982. Well, no, sorry. It came out in 1978, but I bought it in 1982, sorry. And I loved it, and if you ever want to spook yourself out, watch it when you've been having a few drinks, and just listen to it. And it's Jeff Wayne. Have to read, and I haven't got my glasses close. Jeff Wayne's, sorry, musical version of War of the Worlds. And like I said, if you ever want to spook yourself out, listen to it when you've had a bit of indulgence and just want to mellow out, but then you'll end up spooking yourself out. How do I know? Let's say that in this part it's got, you know, your things that land from in the sky, and if you see, or you're just mellowing out and you look up in the sky and you see a shooting star, you start thinking, oh my God, it's actually happening. Or maybe that's just me. Welcome to my wonderful world. Also, Jeff had other people that were in, that he actually asked to be in it. And a couple of known names are David Essex and Phil Lynott. And David Essex, of course, was himself. And Phil Lynott, if you don't know, he is from Thin Lizzy, the lead singer. And he's got an awesome voice. And then the narration was done by Richard Burton. And it was brilliant, and still is. And in the room over yonder is where all my albums are, but they're all still packed up, so I might unpack some and talk about them at a later stage. But yeah, War of the Worlds, oh my God, what, it's brilliant, and all the singing, and anyway. Then I bought myself in 1984, oh, pardon me, in 1984 I bought myself Purple Rain on cassette, so I could listen to it, and by Prince, of course. And wow, what a voice. Sadly, he's passed on now, and strange circumstances, some may say, and apparently his vault of music is still chock-a-block with songs that he'd done and didn't think worthy of his producing them, because that's what he did. He played basically all the instruments, of course not on stage, because he's not that good. And yeah, he used to play all the instruments and produced it, and yeah. And he also did songs for other bands under different pseudonyms. And one of them that I can remember straight off the bat is Manic Monday by the Bangles. Yeah, that was penned by him. Also Shania Twain, Sinead, whatever her name is now that I can't remember because I said the wrong name in the first place. Okay. Anyway, Nothing Compares to You was actually done by Prince, and then she did it on her version of it, but I know which one I'd prefer, because listening to her was like listening to what are they called? Nails on a chalkboard. Yeah. Made you want to sit there and do certain things to yourself that I'm not allowed to mention. Anyway, other album that I bought myself, but was done in 1975, so I was actually 10 years old at the time, so there you go, is Welcome to My Nightmare. Get it? Welcome to my crazy world. Welcome to my nightmare. Anyway, yes, by Alice Cooper, and it was a concept album, and it is absolutely fantastic. There's not one song on there that I'd say is better than the other. I love Cold Ethel, and of course Stephen. All the weird and wonderfuls that everybody else tends to listen to, different versions and stuff. And I like the obscure more than anything, because that's just me. All right, so that's, yeah, I bought that in the mid-80s. So it was I had it on cassette, because I had a cassette player in my car, so I used to play it to death. And well, most of my albums that I've got the cassette version, because I used to listen to cassettes in the car, because that's all you had, not this newfangled whiz-bangery that is CDs of these days. No, not I. Well, they were invented, but you'd have to have mega dollars back in the 80s to own one of them, and it was only made basically for videos and movies, rather than listening to music. So there you go. Also, Synchronicity. Now, this is going to be a set of 3 that I bought pretty much in the same years, or close to the same years. And Synchronicity was one, by The Police. Ghost in the Machine was also another one where I enjoyed it, but yeah, that's when Sting was becoming very political, and pretty much after that was when I stopped listening to I listened to their other music, but I didn't purchase any more albums. And not long after that is when they disbanded anyway, and Sting became himself, well, a solo career. And anyway, so Zenyatta Mondata is the famous Don't Stand So Close to Me. I love that song. It'd have to be the only one of the singles that I actually bought the album for the single. And yeah, very cool the way he sings it. Anyway, so yeah, that was 3 albums, and Darkness was my favourite song from Ghost in the Machine, and Wrapped Around Your Finger was the song from Synchronicity that I love the most. So yeah, and then I bought a Phil Collins album. Yes, it's true. I do like Genesis, some of their songs, and I bought the Phil Collins one, and it must have been around 1982-ish that I bought it. And You Can't Hurry Love was the main single from that album, but mine wasn't. I mean, I enjoyed that song, but my favourite song from that album was I Don't Care Anymore. The drum beat and everything that's in it, if you listen to it, you'll understand. I'm a drummer fan. And I love drums and bass. Bass a little bit more now than I used to. Anyway, yeah. It's a pretty dark album, and I never used to realise why. So I did a little bit of digging at about 4 o'clock this morning, and I wanted to know why it was so dark. And apparently he was going through his divorce, so when he was writing all the songs for it, so it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, a lot of the songs in it, I enjoy most of them. So yeah, if you want to have a listen to something different, listen to Phil Collins. He's very underrated. And then my honourable mention is Dynasty by Kiss. Yes, Dynasty is one of my favourite albums because I was a bit of a Kiss freak, shall we say. When I say was, I still am, but I'm controversial because I appreciate the 4 original members more than I appreciate the 2 extras that are in it now, which is Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer. I rather it with Peter Criss and Ace Frehley, so don't hate me. It's just the way I am. And no hanging poo-poos on anyone, but I just find the other 2 not to be as good as the first 2. But that's just my humble opinion, and if you don't like that, well, I apologise, but not really, because I like it. What I like doesn't necessarily have to be that you like the same thing. So anyway, off that, my favourite songs are, and yes, I'm reading them. I do know them off by heart, but I'm reading them because knowing my way I am at the moment, I might say it the wrong way. So anyway, we've got X-Ray Eyes, Gene Simmons, Dirty Livin', which is Peter Criss singing. Anyway, 2000 Man and Sure Know Something. There's also Hard Times and what's the other song? Oh, there you go, see? Brain numb. Anyway, not one song is better than the other in their album of Dynasty. I love them all. And then Dynasty, of course, became Unmasked. Not it became Unmasked. Unmasked was the next album that they put out. So yeah, I had to buy it. So that's another one. But yeah, they're all my favourite albums that I bought back in the 80s. And if there are other albums that you bought, no doubt there's people out there that like Poison and Bruce Springsteen. I don't like him at all. And when we lived in Moonee Ponds many moons ago, he came out, and I think it was in 1983, 84 maybe. Anyway, he sang or did his concerts at Moonee Ponds, what's it called? The Showgrounds. And where we lived wasn't far from there, and every time the wind blew just the right way, you could hear him singing, and other people got really excited by it, and I got really bored by it, and yeah, I'm not a fan, but anyway, there you go. And Peter Criss, may I just mention, I got to meet him in person after so many years of being in love with the man, and the poor man, I think, nearly had a mental attack because I saw him and I gave him the biggest hug, and I said to him, I love you. I've loved you for so long, and I finally got to meet you. Thank you so much for all your years. And after regaining his composure and me regaining mine, I got a photo with him, and Mitch was there, so I said, come on, Mitch, get a photo with Peter Chris. So there's a photo of myself next to Peter and Mitch next to Peter. So yeah, there you go. I just thought I'd tell you about that. All right, enough of my waffling maybe. I'm going to say goodbye now, and I will see you on Friday. So till then, take care, stay safe, treat others as you would like to be treated. If you feel so inclined to subscribe, please leave a message or a comment down yonder, and hit the bell, because then you'll get notifications from me to say that I've posted a new video. So till then, wear your mask, wash your hands, and hopefully on Sunday we'll find out some really, really, really good news, crossing fingers, and we might not be in stage 4 lockdown anymore. Then again, who knows? So we'll just see, wait and see. All right, dark black purple. Yes, there you go. All right, take care, guys.